Django Reinhardt is a Belgian jazz guitarist from the early 1900s who guitarists like Eric Clapton, B.B. King, Jeff Beck, Jerry Garcia, George Harrison, and many others have cited as a source of inspiration for their playing. He's often cited in interviews and press releases, so he's talked about quite a lot. But what's not talked about a lot is that he only played with 2 fingers on his fretting hand. Back in 1928, he auditioned to be in a French band, and when the band leader heard him play just one time, he was offered the job on the spot. But before he had a chance to start in the band, he almost died in a fire. On November 2nd of 1928, Django Reinhardt was in his bed that he and his wife shared in a caravan. In the night, he knocked over a candle which ignited the extremely flammable celluloid that his wife used to make artificial flowers. The caravan was engulfed in flames immediately. They miraculously escaped, but Reinhardt suffered extreme burns over half of his body. It was so bad that he was hospitalized for 18 months, and doctors recommended amputating his badly damaged right leg, but he refused surgery and eventually was able to walk again with the aid of a cane. Perhaps more relevant to his guitar playing, the ring and pinky fingers of Reinhardt's left hand were badly burned. Doctors believed that he would never play guitar again. But during many months of rehabilitation, Reinhardt re-taught himself to play, using primarily the index and middle fingers of the left hand, using the 2 injured fingers only for chord work. He didn't undergo formal physical therapy, so basically adapted to all of this on his own through his own methods. He had to work around chord voicings, creating his own methods of shaping chords, and he had to master fretting with just 2 fingers, which could not have been easy considering the style of music he was playing was gypsy jazz. Because of the injury, he had to modify both his chords and melodic approaches extensively. He developed a novel system based largely around 3-note chords, which could serve as the equivalent of several conventional chords as different inversions. Although he couldn't use his injured fingers often, he could occasionally use them in chord voicings on the treble strings. He was also able to utilize his thumb on the lowest string to achieve bass notes in the chord voicings. What's perhaps more impressive is how he was able to achieve these fast arpeggios in his solos, these rapid melodic runs he frequently incorporated into his playing. He was able to do this essentially by not playing with a box shape, but instead moved his 2 good fingers up and down the fretboard among fewer strings that were closer together. So instead of frequently jumping around to different strings, he stuck to strings that were closer together and just moved up and down the fretboard. Despite the injury, he was able to recapture and then surpass his previous level of proficiency on the guitar. He played mostly by ear and couldn't read or write music, but that never limited him on the fretboard, and he was able to use his full musical imagination and can play with ease and in any key. To this day, Django Reinhardt is regarded as one of the greatest guitar players of all time, and was the first important jazz musician to make a major contribution to jazz guitar from Europe. And as mentioned previously, he's inspired a wave of new age guitarists, ranging from Eric Clapton to B.B. King, Jeff Beck, and others. So it's truly an incredible feat that a man that can only really utilize his index and middle finger while playing the guitar was able to influence the instrument in such a big way. The ripple effects of his influence are going to be seen years and years from now, and it speaks to how dedicated he was on the instrument and just how advanced of a guitar player he was despite this injury. He sadly died in 1953 at just 43 years of age, but his legacy lives on as he redefined what can be done on the guitar, not in spite of his limitations, but because of how he transcended them.